Zapier tables are officially out of beta, which means that everyone has access to them. So in this quick video, you're going to learn how you can create your first AI automation using Zapier tables. We are going to be using OpenAI assistants, connecting it to the Zapier table, and then having the OpenAI assistant score our leads. So let's just jump right into it. The first thing is that you want to go to your tables on the left panel. And as you can see here, they are no longer in beta. Just to save time, I have already created the table. But if you quickly want to know how to create a table, you want to go and click on create over here. And then you have different templates that you can choose from. You also have the blank option, which I used for this video. So you just name your Zapier table and then give it a description if you want. Or the third option is that if you have a file such as CSV or Excel, you can upload it here and the table is going to be automatically created for you. But as I have said, I have already used the blank option and created a new table. As you can see here, the table has no records, which means that there are no rows yet. You can see I have created different column names using the plus button over here. So if I click on it, you can see you can give your column a name. You can then choose the field type, then the alignment, and afterwards you can also give the column an icon if you want. So if I search for Salesforce or Asana, I can just click on it and then the column is going to be created for me. But to create an AI automation, you simply have three different options. You have the create button over here. So if I click on that one, you can see we can create an automation from this table. If I click on that, you can see I have three different options. I can bring the data in the table. I can send the data out from the table. I can update the table, or the fourth option is that I can start from scratch, which is what I prefer when I'm building my automations. The second way how we can create automation is with this button over here. So if I click on the automate button, you can see we get the same view. The third option is that you want to go to linked assets over here. And so here you have the option to click on the create button. And once again, you get the same view. But in this case, you also get these apps that are already connected to your Zapier table and are leveraging some of the fields, aka columns. You can also identify that with these small icons over here. So you can see, for example, that the first name is using one Zap that is linked to this specific field. And so if you want to start the automation, you simply go and create one and you can start from scratch, which is what I would recommend you. But if you want to get more ideas about what you can do with this, you can go with the free options over here and they are going to pre-populate the apps for you automatically. But I have started from the scratch, so let's go and see how the AI automation is going to look like. All right, so just to save time, I've already created the automation. So right now I'm going to show you step by step how you can build the same one. In this case, with this automation, the end goal is to score our leads based on the data that they filled out on our form on our website. So let's just start with the trigger over here. As you can see here, I'm using Hubspot, but if you're using any other provider for your forms on your website, you just simply exchange the app over here. And we're going to be looking for the new form submission. As you can see here on my website over here, I have a simple contact us form that I have already pre-filled. And I'm going to create a test record so then we can test this automation and see whether it works. All right, so we want to go with the new form submission. We're going to continue. Make sure you connect your Hubspot. If you are using Hubspot, you simply use your credentials and you're good to go. We're going to continue. And then because I have multiple forms on my website, I have contact us form, book a demo, support form. I have to specify which form I'm talking about. So I'm going to go with the contact us, continue. And then because I created the test lead and sent it to my Hubspot, I was able to test this action and retrieve the information about my lead. So you can see it includes all the fields on my form, which is exactly what we need for the lead scoring. So we can continue with the selected record. The next step you want to do is to search for an app called Zapier Tables and search for Zapier Tables. You also have it on the right panel over here in the section called built-in tools. In the event section, we want to create a new record because right now our table is empty. So we want to choose that one and then continue. And then you have to specify all the fields that you are sending from Hubspot to your table and you have to allocate them to the right columns. And because of the trigger, I can go and find the first name of the person, allocate the dynamic variable over here. And then each time we get a new record with a new person, it's going to be automatically created in our table. So you want to go and do the same for last name, then email, message, country, company name, and then the industry. But because we are going to use AI to score our leads, for now, we are going to leave this column over here empty. After you have mapped everything, you can continue. And then we are going to test this action and see whether the data is going to be successfully sent to our Zapier table. All right, we got a green confirmation over here. Let's go back to our table And yeah, it works. So you can see we right now have all the data that came inside our Hubspot. We send it over to our Zapier table, where we are right now going to work with these fields and use AI to score the leads. You can see all of them are filled out successfully, except the lead score, which we are going to jump right into next. All right, when you tested this, you can hit continue. And as the second action, we're going to be using ChatGPT. In the event section, you want to go and choose conversation with assistant. Now, in this case, you want to choose conversation with assistant because we are going to be scoring the leads based on how likely they are to do business with us. So if the lead is coming from the industry that our business is not operating in, the lead score is probably going to be lower. And so for this, we are going to choose the conversation with assistant, and we are going to train the assistant to get more information about our business, so then it can score the leads better. And so that leads me to openai.com, where you can go and create your assistant, which we are going to then later on retrieve in Zapier. But you can see I already created one specifically for this video. So right now I'm going to quickly show you how you can create one. You are going to click on the create button over here, and then a side panel like this appears. And so the first step is to give it a name. Afterwards, you want to give it instructions, which is the most important part. And for this, just to save time, I'm going to go inside my database where I store all my AI automations. And right now we are working on the Zapier tables with AI lead scoring. And so in this one, I'm just going to copy the instructions and paste them directly over here. I'm gonna make this bigger. So if you want, you can pause the video. I'm not gonna go and read the instructions out loud, but here we are setting up the context as well as how the assistant should reply. In the prompt, I'm using different parameters. So if you're interested in how you can leverage those, then definitely go and check out the first link in the description down below, where I put together a totally free Node.js resource, exactly showing you how you can leverage different parameters to get the most out of your AI automations when you are creating them directly inside Zapier or creating your OpenAI assistants. Right, we are going to close this down. And then the next part is to choose your model. In this case, you want to go and choose the GPT-4 Turbo preview. You want to choose the model that is going to allow you to choose the tools, because they are necessary for you to afterwards upload a file as well. So make sure to choose this model. There are other ones as well, for example, this one. And if you're wondering what the number is, it's basically a date when the model was introduced. So I wouldn't recommend you to using these ones because they are going to depreciate after some time, but just make sure you choose the model that is going to allow you to turn on the functions next. And then the last part is that you want to upload the knowledge base for your assistant. You can do that with the add button over here. I have already done that, and you can see that the file contains all the information about our target groups, pricing, FAQ, and other descriptions that are going to be necessary for scoring the leads. And that's pretty much it. You can then just hit save and you are good to go. You can also test your assistant before. So if I click on the test button over here, you can see I'm redirected to this page where I can test the assistant before I use it inside my Zapier. But let's go back to our Zapier and continue with our AI automation. So we have successfully created the assistant on OpenAI. And so we are going to choose the event conversation with assistant. I'm going to continue. Make sure that your OpenAI account is connected. Mine is. You can simply just generate an API key on OpenAI and then connect it directly over here. I have already done that, so I can continue. And right now we are going to set up the prompt that we are going to send to the OpenAI assistant. And so for this, just to save time once again, I'm going to go inside my database and I'm going to copy this prompt over here, which is in the third step, ChatGPT conversation with assistant. And I'm going to place it directly over here. And so here we are setting up the message that is going to be sent to our OpenAI assistant. And in this case, you can see I'm starting with the email with the domain, because the domain is also influencing whether the lead score is going to be high or low. If it's Gmail or Yahoo, it's going to score it a little bit lower because the work emails are the valuable emails that we want for our business. I'm then setting up the company name variable, then the message that the prospect has left, which is also important in the scoring. In this case, we are asking specifically about the features and we are really interested in using it. So the AI is going to determine that potentially we should score this lead higher because they are very interested in our product. Then the industry, once again, maybe we're just targeting specific industries and we wrote them down inside the file that we have uploaded to OpenAI. So then ChatGPT is going to be able to determine whether this lead should be scored higher or lower depending on the industry. And then we have the details where we're just specifically saying we want the lead score to be generated. And afterwards we have the main prompt at the end. I'm adding the variables from my trigger. So here you can see that the email variable is found in the Hubspot trigger. All right, when we are done with the message, we can continue. And the most important part part is that we want to use the assistant that we have already trained and created on OpenAI. So I'm going to hit assistant and I'm going to choose the lead scoring assistant for pop-ups line. And then you can leave all the fields empty because we have already specified the assistant name, assistant instructions, the model, the tools directly on OpenAI. These fields are only here if you don't create the OpenAI assistant prior to creating your Zap. The only thing I would highly recommend you is to use conversation ID. This one should be something very unique to that specific lead. And in this case, we can retrieve that from the first action from the table. And then we can go and choose something that is unique to this lead. So for example, this can be the record ID. You can also use email, for example, because you know that each lead is going to have unique email. And that is the only thing we have to do right now. And we can continue. And right now we're going to test this, whether it's going to successfully score our lead. So I'm going to test this action. We're right now sending the prompt to OpenAI assistant. And yeah, we got a green confirmation over here. It takes a few seconds to get the answer, but essentially you're going to see that a few seconds ago we got the answer. So let's just scroll down and find the full response. And yeah, you can see we found the full response and we got a score of 85 for this lead. All right, so we know that the OpenAI assistant is scoring our leads, so we can continue. And the last step we have to do is to actually put this value inside our Zapier table. And so for this, you want to go and search for Zapier Tables as your app once again. In the event section, you want to scroll down and find the event called update record. We don't want to add a new record. We just want to update the existing one. So we are going to go with that one, continue. And then in the action, we are going to go and choose the table ID. If you click on the field, you can see we have only one table we can choose, and that is the lead database, which is our table. And then the second variable that we want to update is called record ID. We want to specify exactly which row in the table we want to update. And for this, we can go back to our first action, which is the Zapier Tables. And from here, you want to choose the dynamic variable called record ID. And because we only want to update one column, which is the lead score, we can leave all these empty. Remember, we have already pre-filled these ones in our first action over here. But in the field lead score, we want to go and click here and put the dynamic variable called full response. That's pretty much it. We can continue. And right now you can see we don't have the lead score over here, but let's actually test this, whether it works. And yeah, we got a green confirmation. So let's check whether it works. And yeah, it works. We right now have the 85, which is the lead score for this specific record. So we right now know that this works. We can go and name our Zap over here. I named it Zapier Table Lead Scoring with AI. I think that's very descriptive. And then we're good to go to publish the Zap over here or in this corner over here. Now, I hope you get an idea about what you can do with Zapier Tables and how you can use them in your AI automations. Once again, if you want to know how you can leverage different parameters inside your prompts, whether you are writing them inside Zapier or creating OpenAI assistants, make sure to go and check the first link in the description down below, where I put together a completely for free no junk resource, which teaches you the 3P framework, how you can write down effective prompts with these different parameters. Also, the database I have used in this video is linked down below in the first link, so make sure to check that out. And if you enjoyed watching this video, I believe you're also going to enjoy this video that you can right now see on your screen. Thank you so much and have a great day.